Chapter 39. In a glorious light, blazing like the desert sun, Ramia flies high in the sky, warding away the black thunderous clouds, swooping towards the castle with a marvelous cry. The dozens of blue-scaled serpents, eyes sparkling with electricity, cast torrents of blazing flames, summoning bolts from the clouds with a roar upon the holy phoenix. But it isn't enough, as it is absorbed into the shining white feathers. Ramia dives into the ones creating a blockade to the castle, and they explode in a white flash, erased from the sky with a resounding crash. Finally, Ramia cries once more, entering into the destroyed land of the castle. Its talons grip the tall grass. The bright light around its body fades, and it waits patiently for their departure. Quickly they leap off the warm comfort of its back, planting their feet on the broken stones that lead to the castle's entrance. Ramia doesn't speak, but from the soothing look of its bright blue eyes, it's easy to tell the goddess's creation wishes them well on the journey ahead. It flaps its massive wings, blowing the tall dark grass and unsteady stone to the toxic moat, finally reaching the clouds in the sky to return to the fight. The roars of the dragons are accompanied by Ramia, yet they are nowhere to be seen in the black night sky as its shine disappears. Hotaru peers into the sky, hearing their fading cries of battle, the dissipating booming of thunder striking down on their morale, leaving them isolated onto the land. There is nothing more she can do to aid the Phoenix, yet Hotaru's heroic magic is unnecessary as its power is infused with the orbs, unfortunately, leaving Hotaru reliant on her own strength, unknowing if she can control the electricity coursing through her veins. But no longer would she have to ponder this worry, for all that is left is the Archfiend's castle. From up close it supports hundreds of rooms upon several floors. The castle is bleak in color, and the windows are shattered with overgrown foliage consuming the walls. There is not a monster in sight, nor sound guarding its walls, only the pools of poison that coats the grass and stone. Isamu, undaunted by the eerie silence, the lack of life, leads forward, stepping towards the main gate of the castle, avoiding the empty guard towers that somehow still stand on the sides. With the cold air pushing against their backs, they quickly reach the destroyed wooden gate of the castle. Hotaru ponders to herself about the trial before her, or more so, lack thereof. Pimiko stated the dangers that loom in Necrogond, the imminent death that awaited them if unprepared. Yet nothing here had any resemblance of the Archfiend's return. Could she have been wrong? Hotaru thought. But Pimiko's words, for a brief moment, rang like alarm bells to warn of a coming disaster. Discover the truth. Focus, Hotaru. She snaps out of her head, joining Isamu at the door. Sorry. She simply follows, battling herself on whether to warn him or let him go. There is a hole big enough for them to walk through. However, a foul smell of toxic and dried blood poured out from the inside. Hotaru is hesitant as she shields her nose. Isamu, on the contrary. He takes a step in, guiding her to follow like a terrifying ride. Past the door, blaring crackles of fire surround the room, bringing silence to what little sound came from the outside. The room before them coated red with furious hot blazes of dozens of steel torches planted into the hard stone, their faces dripping with sweat. The ripped red carpet leads up to the throne circled off by a pool of black sludge, much like the castle's moat. At the throne, an ominous cackle haunts the room. "Show yourself," Isamu shouted, slamming his claw into the metal torch, announcing his arrival. The sound of deep gargling replies back.
You finally made it.
Hotaru jumps next to Isamu with her sword ready. Her hands shake along with her breath. This is our final moment. Grandma, Dad, give me strength, she prayed, holding her sword out.
Hotaru, is it?
The relaxed yet frightening voice said.
I hear it is you who are the world's new hero, the one to take the place of your father.
Enough of this, Baramos, Isamu yelled again, attempting to draw his attention. Show yourself now.
You are quite an impatient one. However, you are irrelevant to the equation. It is the hero I seek.
Once I put my claw to your throat, you will wish to have taken me more seriously.
So hate is what drives you. Surely your dear grandmother would have taught you better.
How do you know Grandma? She whispered, choking on her breath.
You precious little hero, I know all. From the moment you were born to the moment of your departure.
A massive shadow appears before the throne,
ending with the moment of your demise.
The light reveals the large figure. Standing atop the rancid poison is a burly humanoid, twice the size of Isamu. His round head has a massive horn at the top and a large beak made of flesh. He wears a massive mage's robe with a purple cape. His feet have 3 talons, nails black like tar. However, only one hand similar in size is seen. She stops and stares at him. Something is wrong. One of his hands is missing, and his green robe is drenched with dried blood. A grim smile spreads upon his face. You look like you already have 1 foot in the grave, Isamu said, eyeing him down.
It is foolish to assume the strength of your opponent with a simple glance. Such observations are a quick and sound way to meet your end.
Something doesn't seem right, Isamu. Nothing that Grandma warned about is happening. And what do you suggest we do? Walk away until he fully recovers? He won't get the chance. She can't bring him to stop. Baramos must be taunting him, pulling him into a trap. But Hotaru can't figure it out. The empty castle, the lack of resistance. It all has her stomach twisting and her mind spinning.
It is a fight you seek, correct? To bring peace back to your precious world. Here I patiently wait. All I ask is your confirmation. Are you ready?
If you can't bring yourself to do it, Hotaru, then I will. He steps forward, claw pointed to the Archfiend's throat, just as he had threatened. Let's end this, Baramos. An evil laugh escapes his lips. He lifts his hand in the air, snapping his sharp fingers together. The sound ripples through the air, and the light disappears in an instant, leaving them in complete darkness. No longer does his haunting voice bounce around the freezing room, but instead the terrifying silence. Behind you, Isamu shouted, pushing Hotaru out of the way. Baramos belches a fierce fire, setting ablaze the torn fabrics of the ruined audience chamber. Together they clash claws, exchanging pushaways, avoiding devastating strikes. The cries of war and ringing of steel and bone fill the room. Despite his large size, his speed is quick enough to catch Isamu trying to get behind him, retaliating against any trick he attempts, resorting in the two relying on pure strength. Hotaru is stunned by the chaos, frozen in place, the wildfire consuming the corners of the battlefield. Another belch releases from his mouth. Isamu dodges with finesse, driving his claw underneath his chin. She needs to aid him, but she can't bring herself to move. This has to be what he wants, she thought, catching glimpses of Baramos' haunting grin. Finally, a deadly strike connects, and the claw pierces through the top of his mouth. He doesn't scream in pain, but the purple fresh blood that coats Isamu's claw is enough of an indication of the damage. Baramos teleports to the chair, holding his bleeding chin, heavily breathing. How can this be? Is he immortal? Is that the trick? She thought, feeling the intense heat slowly approaching. The Archfiend who brought destruction to the world, responsible for the death of Ortega, exhausted after a single bout. Yet his grin remains, taunting Isamu to finish the fight. He lunges forward with his claw aimed for his neck, his eyes dead on like an assassin. Baramos doesn't block, simply waiting. Wait! A voice called from outside the castle walls. Isamu drives his claw into his neck and he falls to the floor. Two people dart into the pitch-black room. That green glow! It couldn't be! Thanks to the green luminescent light, she sees that one is a woman who darts in with the other being a man. However, the unique hair of the woman and man are enough to awaken Hotaru from her trance. Fedir and Aziza? Hotaru screamed. The earth violently shakes. The walls of the castle tumble and crash. Baramos laughs maniacally, coughing up blood with every squirm of his body.
The end is upon you now. Father awaits.
The demonic voice booms in the air. The echoes shake them to their core. Something of higher power has made its entrance.
Baramos, my son, you have failed me once more.
Please forgive me, Father. My body has yet to fully recover, and I lack the necessary troops. Please lend me your strength, and I will do as you bid. Give me a second chance.
Silence! I granted you enough power and soldiers to redeem yourself, and yet you still beg. You are a fool to assume I was a leader who blunders into the same mistakes.
Baramos flounders about as his voice shakes. Finally, his grim smile is gone.
I never meant any of that, Father. I only wanted what was best for your kingdom.
Violent thunder echoes in the castle walls, and a bolt of lightning strikes down and sets Baramos ablaze. He screams as his body burns, begging for forgiveness. His panic voice fizzles out with the fanning flames. Zoma, Fedir called out, you are the true evil behind all this, the one who brought chaos to the goddess's world.
You have learned the truth of my existence.
A laugh of malice screams.
Listen well, weak heroes. I am Zoma, ruler of the underworld. You all have proven worthy of my acknowledgement. But now I'm afraid your efforts have been for nothing.
That's what you think, Aziza snapped back. She hides something behind her cloak, soon bringing it to light. She holds high above a shimmering orb of various translucent colors, switching between the colors of the 6 orbs. A beam of light shoots to the throne and a demonic scream echoes across the room. The light fades, and left in its wake is the villain behind the voice. At the top of the throne, spread across the wall in static, is a large blue face. The monster's eyes are pure black like the depths of the ocean. Sharp, rigid, saliva-covered teeth. Finally, a bloodshot massive eye atop its head, frantically scanning them. Every blink is heard as it squishes like stepping on gunk. Zoma growls in pain. His illusion fades. The ground beneath tears open with a slit, growing larger by the second. It splits apart the castle, and like a tornado, it sucks the torches, the walls, everything. They hold as tight to the remaining floor as they can.
You will meet a fate worse than death for your actions. Suffer in my realm. Rot away in the underworld. Beg for your goddess as the hope leaves your eyes as I take your souls.
The massive pit sucks them in, and they scream out as they plummet to the dark abyss.